From slide 3, having taken the first step in carefully adjusting some of the measures and our advice to people on what to do, we have also updated our messaging. We are now asking people to stay alert, control the virus, and save lives. Yes, staying alert for the vast majority of people still means staying at home as much as possible. But there are a range of other actions we're advising people to take. People should stay alert by working from home if you can, limiting contact with other people, keeping distance if you go out, 2 meters apart where possible, washing your hands regularly, wearing a face covering when you're in an enclosed space where it is difficult to be socially distant, for example in some shops and on public transport. And if you or anyone in your household has symptoms, you all need to self-isolate. As slide 4 shows, if everyone stays alert and follows the rules, we can control coronavirus by keeping the R down and reducing the number of infections. That is how we can continue to save lives and livelihoods as we begin as a nation to recover from coronavirus. And to underpin this in the workplace, we have published new COVID-19 secure guidance on working safely, available to UK employers across 8 work settings, which are allowed to be open and where their employees cannot work from home. This also includes guidance for shops, which we believe may be in a position to begin a phased reopening at the earliest from the 1st of June. Firms, unions, industry bodies, and the devolved administrations have all fed into this guidance to give businesses and their employees the confidence they need to work safely. And I believe we have reached a consensus in doing that. We've also worked with Public Health England and the Health and Safety Executive to develop best practice on the safest ways of working across the economy. The guidelines outlined practical steps for employers to take, including carrying out a COVID-19 risk assessment in consultation with employees or trades unions. A downloadable notice is included in the documents which employers should display in their workplace to show employees, customers, and other visitors that they have followed the guidance. We've also provided practical steps for employers to consider, such as putting up barriers or screens in shared spaces, creating fixed teams or partnering to minimize the number of people in contact with one another, and frequent cleaning of work areas and equipment between uses to reduce transmission. To support employers and employees through this, the government has made available up to an extra £14 million for the Health and Safety Executive, equivalent to an increase of 10% of their budget. This is for extra call centre employees, inspectors, and equipment if needed. We also know how important the job retention scheme has been in helping businesses through this difficult time. And today, the Chancellor has announced a 4-month extension of the scheme to help provide certainty to businesses. To date, 7.5 million jobs have been furloughed, protecting livelihoods across the nation. Until the end of July, there will be no changes to the scheme. Then, from August to October, the scheme will continue for all sectors and regions of the UK, but with greater flexibility to support the transition back to work. Employers currently using the scheme will be able to bring employees back part-time. And as the economy reopens, we will ask firms to start sharing with government the cost of paying people's salaries. To be clear, the same level of support of 80% of people's current salary, up to £2,500, will continue to be met, but through a shared effort between employers and government. We will be setting out more details on the changes before the end of the month. Throughout this pandemic, I have been struck by the way people have looked out for one another. These measures are produced in that spirit. So to employers, I say, use this support and guidance to know you're doing the right thing and work with your unions and workers to keep each other safe. And to workers, I say, we are looking out for you. We want you to feel confident that you are financially supported and returning to a safe workplace. Because in this time, like no other, we all need to work together safely as we rebuild our economy. Thank you. Steve, could I ask you to take us through the rest of the daily slides, please?
Thank you, Secretary of State, and good afternoon. So as the Secretary of State has said, it's critical that we all continue to comply with the rules around social distancing as we move into this next phase. The benefits of doing that have been clear and are shown in the data slides, which I'm going to present this afternoon, in an updated format to the format that you have previously seen. So the first slide looks at social distancing and how compliance with those social distancing rules has been undertaken by the public. The chart, which is data from the Department of Transport, shows data reflecting the use of transport, both public transport and private motor vehicles. And as you can see, as you've seen before, we are still seeing reduced levels of usage, particularly of public transport. In the slide also is some data from